How you doing? I'm Big D. Do you know if silver is a good investment for retirement or not? I'm going to have some information that maybe would help you decide if that is an option now that you're preparing for retirement within maybe the next few years or longer. You could be 20 years old, getting your first big boy job, all the way up to someone who only has a couple of years left. I think you want to stick around to find out what I have to say. I can give you a little bit about what I have done. I have a couple more years before I go into the retirement stage and decide, okay, 62 the year I'm going to do it is 65. Am I going to pull the trigger at 70? Well, let's talk about silver and see if this is a fit for you because it's still a very possible, profitable, precious metal, and it's semi inexpensive when you think about what gold is. And it is performing well better than gold. So, do you think investing in silver is good for your retirement? I, for one, think that is a 100% good idea. Now, if you can purchase gold, I would do both. But silver, just since June 2025, silver was right around $30 an ounce. It did fluctuate. And remember, silver is a volatile precious metal. We'll talk about silver. If you don't know anything about silver, I'm going to give you a little background in it. Silver is used in everything electronic. I don't care if it's a car, EV, cell phone, laptop, computer screen, TV, whatever you're looking at, tablet, military purposes, medical reasons. Silver is in just about everything. And when you think about it, silver, for a lot of what I just stated, there's nothing that can take the place of silver and perform as well. Nothing. Nothing on this planet. Please do your own due diligence and research what I'm going to tell you today. You really should have some, if not a good portion of your retirement into silver. And that's what some of the group that I hang out with have done. A lot of them, silver is the only way to go, and they've made a lot of money. But they also purchased it when they were very young, and silver was very inexpensive. Right now, it is still inexpensive. Today, just before coming on to do this video, it was $85 an ounce, a troy ounce. Now it's going to fluctuate depending on the type of silver that you're looking for, whether it be a round and say a little bar all the way up to 1,000 ounce bar, whatever you're looking at, it will fluctuate. Sometimes you'll get a better deal. Now, if you're talking about a Silver Eagle and it's a vintage one, it's going to cost you more. Myself, I only look at it as the weight. I don't care about if it's a pretty one. I really don't care. If you look into the older Morgans, some of them are worn. They're pretty like that to me. Now, everyone wants to retire in peace. And one of the ways you can do this is make sure that you make your best investment for your retirement. Now, this is why I'm going to give you some information about retirement tips that you should probably know. Other than gold, silver can be great choices of investment that you can make well, here are some of the reasons. One, diversifying your investment. Investing in silver is one of the best ways that you can diversify your investment. A lot of people don't talk about this. They talk about pensions. They talk about 401ks or 403bs. You know, if you're in like say New York State or a state-driven pension, deferred comps. You got so many different variations of how to come up with a plan for retirement, especially leading into your retirement, and you might be getting a little nervous. Now, one reason why I am talking about silver in general, when it being a precious metal, there is a deficit every year for the last several years that they need to mine just to meet demand of industry. Now, we're probably looking at 500 million ounces in a deficit. Right now, if you look at the COMEX, the level of available silver today is at its lowest in history. The same thing for the LBMA in London. You're looking at Shanghai. Shanghai, they're having an issue as well. They actually stopped allowing the West to purchase from them in multiple other countries. So you could probably see supply versus demand is pushing the price. But what about the need and what it can do? Like I said, nothing can take its place when it comes to performance. Take the missiles that the United States uses to protect the United States from other countries. A missile takes a lot of silver, especially in the cone. Supersonic missiles, they go so fast, they create such a heat at the tip of the missile that it has to have to be able to keep the connectivity and also protect the electronic components and for GPS reasons, so to speak. It has to be able to guide itself along with the software that has been input into its program. Now, staying diversified for your investment, you cannot fully rely on currency for your wealth, and especially in the modern economy. Now, if you've looked into the Treasury website, you'll find out that purchasing power of the $1 US note is worth about 3.7 cents. And that tells you that we probably don't have long before a new currency steps in. It's usually about every 100 years, right around that, when a new currency steps in. I mean, look at the 38 plus trillion dollars that this country's in a deficit. It's not sustainable. So let's talk about this. So many changes can happen in a day, including the value of the currency. Investing in silver is a great addition to any investment portfolio. But remember, it is very volatile. It can go up and down 20, 30 bucks. As you probably know, only about 2 weeks ago, it dropped about $35. It was $122 and it dropped considerable. But you gotta be patient. This is the known fact about precious metals, especially silver. Now, investment portfolios, that way you will be able to retire without having to worry about wealth at all. Now, number 2 is protect your during your uncertain times. Nowadays, you have to be extra careful with your money, right? So there's so many economic and political changes that can affect your financially. However, with the help of silver, you will have an investment that will protect your wealth during those uncertain times. That is why investing in silver might be one of the best ideas that you could have. You will never have to worry about your wealth ever again with the help of silver. Now, let me point out one thing. You cannot, if you're interested in silver, put your money into paper silver. No, don't do it. Not with what's going on right now. You have to have physical silver in your hand. If you don't hold it, you don't own it. ETFs, no. Now, understand this. I'm not a professional, but what I'm telling you has worked for multiple years for many people I know. They've made a lot of money because silver always goes up. And you can't look back at what happened in the past, say 1980 with the Hunt brothers. They cornered the market, they manipulated the market. And that's the only reason why it went to $50 in 1980. And again, until 2011, there was other things being manipulated. Now that the manipulation with paper silver and derivatives and futures, those types of things, they are being suppressed by our country, our new government, our new administration. They are going to do and step up and put a floor. So the lowest you'll ever have to pay, or that is ever going to drop, so it won't be so volatile, is going to be, say, this much, and they're gonna have a floor, and that floor is going to be $80, $100, whatever they put it at. One, the miners will be looking harder for that silver, and maybe there won't be the deficit of 500 million ounces again. Maybe there's going to be other refineries in the United States that will care about processing silver when it comes out of the ground. It's never been considered. It's 70% of the silver that comes out of the ground is a byproduct. This byproduct is when they actually have a gold mine or silver or lead or whatever they're digging for. It comes up and they find silver. It's a byproduct. 70% that comes out of the ground every year is a byproduct. So there aren't like, hey, I got a silver mine over here. Let's crush it today and get millions of ounces. No, that's not how it works. And all of the easy silver, at the surface, well, that's gone. Because not like, unlike gold, where gold, you find all kinds of people trying to recycle it. You can find someone on YouTube trying to tell you how to do it with certain chemicals and, cut up computer boards and circuit boards and this and that. And then you recycle and recover all of this gold, and then you can make your own silver bars, right? That's not happening with silver, because for the longest time, with the manipulation of the price of silver, especially through the banks, JP Morgan was busted twice. The last time it cost them almost $1 billion in fines. So I'm not just lying. I'm not just making this up. This is what happened. So because of all these things starting to happen, the new Basel III regulations that are going to require banks to have a certain amount of these, if you have paper silver, they have to have a certain percentage of that amount of money to cover that if something happens with, everybody wants their money back for the paper silver and they want to cash in. Maybe they're retiring, right? So they got to have the money, and that new Basel III regulation is going to hit the banks. And I believe it hit just this past Monday. So, let's see. I got to talk to you about quite a few things here. So, gold is another reason why investing in silver is considered smart. It's because it's cheaper than gold. Yes, investing in gold is a great idea. Like I said, you probably should have both in your portfolio or your safe, so to speak. Not your portfolio, because if it's in your portfolio, that means you bought paper silver or an ETF, a silver ETF. Um, Not a good idea. You could lose all. That's what I hear. So understand, I am not a professional. Read my disclaimer in the description below. Now, yes, investing in gold is a great idea. However, it can be quite expensive because silver is less expensive and it also is more accessible for you. That's gold. Now, is silver a good investment for retirement? Of course, and it it is. However, well, you need to keep in mind that silver is also, again, very volatile. Um, Gold, you can expect the value of silver to fluctuate more rapidly than gold. It does follow gold, but it's a little slower process. But that's okay as long as you know how to manage your investments. If you buy it, know how much you paid for it. And if you see it drop considerably, don't panic. It happens all the time. Don't sell it until you're above what you already paid for it. And this is a daily activity. Again, this is a hot item. Supply versus demand. Right now, very low supply, and there's been very low supply. We've been in a deficit for multiple years, and it's going to increase. And the professionals are talking about two, three, $400 an ounce in the future. So that's why I say, do your own research, do your own due diligence, and you'll be able to see what I'm trying to explain to you, that silver is the best buy because of the things I've talked about. Now, silver also has a higher return than gold. Silver is affordable, and that's why when the price of silver rises, you will be able to get the best price out of your silver. It has better bang for the buck. It has, for the last couple of years, outperformed gold in the percentage that it has increased. And if you know about the silver to gold ratio, you'll understand that silver, it used to be 90 plus pieces of silver to equal 1 ounce of gold. Now it's probably right around 55, 60. Again, it's outperforming gold. Now, this essentially means that you will be able to buy silver at a very low price and then sell it at a very high price. Of course, you can do this when the time is right and what's right for you. But you got to hang on to it for a few years. And if you got a few years, especially if you have 30 or 40 years, this is great for your investment and your retirement. Now, when the time is right, 5 good histories that last thing that you need to know about silver is history. You can determine whether silver is a great investment or not by looking at history. Um, how well did silver perform over the last decade? Well, the answer is pretty darn good. Silver has been known as a very valuable material throughout the history in mankind. This is why it will be a good investment for your retirement. Investing in silver can be tricky, however, it can be a very smart move for you. All you need to know is whether or not it's a good investment for your retirement. The actual return on what silver has done over the last, say, couple of years has outperformed most of the 401ks and deferred comps, and also gold, like I've already said. However, hopefully you can have the answer in, is silver a good investment for your retirement? Do you want to receive um, a piece of silver in your hand? Um, and also, like I said, do not own paper silver. I call it fake silver because something happens with that bank, it's a possibility you're going to lose everything you have invested. It's very hard to understand without doing some more research, but I believe this is something that you need to look into. Silver for multiple reasons. One, the United States is putting bottom, a very bottom floor of a price, and it's the lowest it's ever going to go. And some say when that floor is put in place, it is going to be much higher than the average person thinks. So, getting into silver before that happens is a good idea. But also, when you only have several years left of what they believe they're going to be able to get out of the ground, it's a good idea to get it now and get in on the ground floor. It's not as cheap as it was a year ago, but you have a possibility that that silver is going to increase substantially. And now, along with the new regulation, the bank regulations of Basel III, look into that as well. There's a percentage that these banks have to have. They don't have to have it at this present time or beforehand. You could go and get into a bank like JP Morgan, who got in a lot of trouble for manipulating the silver price. You get into that, something happens with that bank, they can't give you your money back. Well, you're out of luck. But if you own it, you own a piece of silver and you have it in your possession, that is what you need. Now, I want to give a little details on when I purchase silver. I find it at a local coin shop that I trust. We also, in my area, you might want to look and see if there's one in your area. But once a month, it's always the third Sunday, whatever that date is, we have a Holiday Inn, and there's a coin shop or coin. Um, you can go and buy different coins. You can go buy gold, silver. You can buy a lot of different things, and you can buy some old currencies. What you want to do is get to know some of them. Maybe talk to them and kind of feel them out. See where they're purchasing their silver from. Is it a decent mint? That kind of thing. You also want to beware because there are fake silver Morgans out there. There are fake silver um, coins that you want to stay away from. But JM bullion, SD bullion, things like that, you're going to want to be paying attention to how to cash out. Okay, so say that they have a special going on. It's $2 over spot. Understand that depending on how you pay, there's going to be another percentage on top of that. You'll pay a certain amount. And that's why I don't buy on there. And I don't want anybody knowing what I'm buying. So I stick with some pawn shops in town. And there are a pawn shop in my town. There is a pawn shop, and it's one that has a lot of silver or can get a lot of silver. If you're looking for something, you might be able to find one in your area that would allow orders, and they can usually get it in 1 to 2 days, at least my location. And it's someone who I've been able to trust for quite some time. I would actually purchase it through different places, and I would have a friend who has one of those identifiers, and the identifier would actually confirm that it is 90% or sterling silver or 99% silver. You never know what you're going to get. It is something that is a little scary to do at first, but like I said, if you buy on JM Bullion or SD Bullion, you're going to pay extra just because of how you pay. Like if it's a credit card, a debit card, whether it's through your bank account, whether it's an e-check, etc. Your bank account, I believe, for the most part, is the cheapest way to go. Otherwise, like I said, the extra fees are not nice. And if you can buy them locally, sometimes you can even buy only a couple bucks over spot as well. Um, I know a lot of people talk about Marketplace, Facebook Marketplace, and they buy silver through that. Again, you got to be careful because of either impure silver, it's not 0.999. It's not legit. It might be silver coated. Uh, some of the ways to look into it, sometimes you can use a magnet. Sometimes you can just, if you know what a troy ounce is, how many grams it is. Sometimes, if you like, you can actually use pennyweight, convert the grams to pennyweight, and it's even more accurate. So, if you weigh something, say that you're looking at a Morgan, you have a Morgan that you've confirmed, say you bought it at a coin shop, and you know the coin shop is, most likely not going to scam you. So, that coin that you own and you're going to go buy, say, 10 from a local seller. You don't even know them. They're on Marketplace. You go there, you bring your little scale, you convert the grams to pennyweight, you weigh it. If it weighs right, there you go. Good. Don't stop there. Check it with a magnet, see if that works. And if you do check it with the acid, it's only going to be the exterior. Unless someone's going to let you, sand a little piece off, I don't think anybody's going to let you do that either. But what you can do is you look at the diameter and the thickness versus the good one. So that is some of the best um, things that I can tell you. And I know it sounds like a lot, but what I believe is going to happen with silver in a very short period of time is significant. And having it in as part of your portfolio or in your safe for your retirement. I mean, especially if you got a few years left. And if you're even a teenager, you haven't even started working yet, you haven't even considered worrying about um, your retirement, you still might want to start collecting silver, stacking silver. All right, I do want to appreciate each and every one of you stopping in. Please subscribe. I'm trying to build the show, and this would very much help me if you leave a comment, and I will leave a comment for you. Let me know where you're from. Let me know if you're a silver stacker. All right. Be good. Smash that like button. God bless.